1 second.
I'm excited. I see 61 participants, so I'm hoping if you're a student, put it in the chat box so Catherine can get equally excited, because I know she does.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name
I
is
definitely think there's some students, there's a bunch of students on the call too, so.
Hip hip hooray. Sorry,
right.
Shannon, go ahead.
No problem. So hi, everyone. My name is Shannon Simpson. I'm the Early College Coordinator. Welcome to the BFIT Early College Information Session. So the first thing I would like to tell you about is that we have 2 early college programs. We have Dual Enrollment, which is for juniors and seniors, and that is where you can take 1 to 3 Benjamin Franklin classes and earn college credits for those courses. These courses can be general education, so like math, sciences, and English classes, and those are transferable to any other college. If you take courses that are in the trade programs, such as automotive or a specific engineering course, those may not be transferable to other colleges. It depends on the institution and if they take those specific courses. As well, students in dual enrollment usually take courses after school, depending on whether or not these courses are for their graduation credits. If these courses are for your graduation credits, we work with your counselor to make sure that if your class is during the school day, you will come to Benjamin Franklin for your specific math class or your English class that counts for your high school graduation credit, and then go back to high school for your other classes. And as I said, typically students do their classes after school. The second program we have is the Advanced Standing Associate Program, and this is specifically for seniors, and we tend to start recruiting during junior year. So this program is very special to Benjamin Franklin because students are potentially getting their full freshman year of college. So it is a commitment saying that once you do this freshman year, you are committing to coming to Benjamin Franklin at the end of that freshman year. And that means you will be a sophomore at Benjamin Franklin. So while you're taking those classes during your senior year in high school, those classes that you take at Benjamin Franklin will count for your high school graduation credits and your freshman college credits as well. Early college qualifications are attending your classes in high school 80 to 90% of the time. We do not have a GPA requirement or an SAT requirement. We do have a requirement that you do have interest in one or more of the programs that BFIT offers. Many schools also have their own behavioral or academic requirements, so you have to work with your counselor and be in touch with them to make sure that you're meeting those requirements before you, when you let them know that you are interested in either of these programs. And you also have to be committed to the college transition, which may look very similar to the high school process, which means staying in touch with your professors, keeping in touch with your advisor, which you will meet throughout this presentation, and making sure that you're staying on top of any issues that may arise and being proactive about missing class and things like that. Registration events are BFIT Day, which will be held virtually. So there will be a virtual tour, and it's more so just a video of the different aspects of campus. We will also administer the AccuPlacer for students. And this is where we determine your math and English levels so that we don't place you in a class that is too hard or too easy for you. And depending on your scores, if they are below 100 level, then you would have to take your fundamental courses the summer before your senior year if you are in the ASAP program. So that once you're a senior in high school, you're only taking your core classes that give you college credit. And then we also have orientation, and that is where students will receive their schedules. They also do team builders with the other early college students, and they will get their Canvas access. Canvas is an app where students can virtually talk to their professors, whether it's emailing or having video chats, and they can see all the classes or homework assignments that they have, as well as grading assignments. So these are some of the programs that Benjamin Franklin offers in their early college program. I'm not going to go through all of them. I actually have a quick voting process that I'm going to give you the link for. And you can vote for your top 3 programs that you want to know more about. And then I will let you know general information about the top 5. So I put the link in the chat. Please copy and paste it into your URL, and you should be able to start voting. I'll give you a minute or 2 for that. And I can also answer any questions at this time while we wait.
Yeah, so Shannon, there's one question that came through from Joy Batista. According to attending 80 to 90% of your classes in high school, did you mean at BFIT? Just a clarifying question.
So in terms of qualifying for the actual early college program, you have to already be meeting your 80 to 90% of your attendance in high school. And if that's not happening, we have a conversation with you and the counselor to make sure that will happen at Benjamin Franklin, or that we're going to be proactive about any issues that may arise or missing classes.
Joy, does that answer your question? And you can unmute yourself if you have a follow-up to that question. She said yes, thank you.
Yes, that was helpful.
No problem. Are there any other questions? All right. So the top 5, did everybody get a chance? You can do like a quick thumbs up in the reactions. Bottom right corner of your Zoom section, you have a reactions. And you can do a thumbs up or a high 5 just to let me know that you had a chance. Okay. So top 5 programs so far are Health Information Technology, Biomedical Engineering Technology, Computer Technology, it's still changing, Construction Management. All right, so I will start with Health Information Technology. That is a 2-year program in which students are learning how to build software development specifically for hospitals or other health companies. So a lot of times when we were younger, we would get a manila folder with our records in them. And it's a very new process of putting those records onto the computer and making it an easier process for patients to see their own records. So one of the hospitals I go to is Whittier Street Health Center in Roxbury. It would be great if I could log on to whittierstreethealthcenter.com and go to my specific profile, just like a Facebook profile, and see the last time I had my physical, the last time I went to the emergency room, maybe the prescription I needed, and the other things that may occur during your time at a hospital or clinic. So those are some of the things that you would be learning in that program. For computer engineering technology, you're learning, that is a 2-year program where you're learning about taking apart the computer. So you're learning about how to diagnose different issues with the different pieces and make sure that customers know whether or not they need to buy an entire new computer or if they need to just buy a specific piece. You're also learning about coding, how to build websites, and software development. Another program that was said.
Hold on, Shannon. There's a question here from Simone. If I take BFIT classes over the summer, does it mean that it could take the first year off?
What do you mean by first year? Like,
yeah.
And Simone, are you a senior? I'm assuming that a junior.
So does she mean like if she takes like her full freshman load like in the summer? Because a lot of the classes, we don't offer every class that's offered in the fall and the summer. Typically, the summer courses are for our regular students to catch up in any way that they are missing credits for their pathway in their specific major. And the summer courses for the ASAP students are for them to prepare, to take their remedial courses or their fundamental courses to prepare for their college courses during their senior year, once they're taking all their courses at Benjamin Franklin. And then summer courses for dual enrollment students, they would have, depending on their AccuPlacer scores, they would have a group of classes to choose from. And that will be available to you all by Monday.
Shannon, can you just clarify for the students that how many credits / courses they would need to take during their junior and senior year, whether it's in, during the academic year or throughout the summer, that would get them close to having a full, entering as a sophomore into BFIT. I think that's a better way to kind of explain.
So for the dual enrollment courses, students only have up to 3 classes that they can take.
Okay.
For the ASAP program, students are already taking their full freshman load of courses for a specific pathway into Benjamin Franklin. So those 3 courses that a dual enrollment student would choose, again, they just depend on their AccuPlacer scores. And if they already know their pathway, and it may not be a Benjamin Franklin pathway, then we can kind of cater those 3 classes to classes that would transfer to the college that they want to go to.
Yeah, absolutely. So it doesn't necessarily mean we would encourage you to take your freshman year of college off. We want to give you an advantage. And so therefore you can enter in as a sophomore and finish college even earlier within less time.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really great way for students who are on the call to think about this opportunity.
Yes, this is Catherine. So Alexander had typed in the chat box, which is a very good clarifying way to frame it. He asked, if I do dual enrollment in the fall of 2020, my senior year, do I take college core classes that give me both senior year and freshman year college credit? And he meant ASAP. And that's exactly it. If you're enrolled in the ASAP, that's the accelerated program, you're taking a full year of classes on the campus of Benjamin Franklin, and your high school will give you high school credit and college credit.
Leadership Academy.
Okay. Could you put your phone on mute?
Yeah, c'est passé.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Awesome. Okay. Sorry, I was just trying to, if there's any more participants, can you let them in? I made Marsha and Catherine hosts.
Have that. I've been letting folks.
Parce que l'autre teacher qui a parlé, il a expliqué l'autre bagaille. Département dit rien.
Okay. So the next program was Biomedical Engineering Technology, which is a 2-year program at Benjamin Franklin. And I like to think of this as, if you don't like people and you don't like blood, but you do like the health field, this is definitely a great program for you, because you're working on the actual machinery in the hospital. So the picture that I have here, it's basically showing the young lady working with frequencies, wavelengths, and making sure that the hospital monitor is running the way that it's supposed to be for state standard for patient comfortability and necessity. Yes, the next program is Technology Business Management. So this program is a 2-year program. And I like to think that Benjamin Franklin is different from a lot of other schools that have business management as a degree, and they're giving the customer service, the marketability aspects to the degree. But Benjamin Franklin, we also give you the technology aspect as well. So we're teaching you how to build websites, data software development, and do customer service. So Benjamin Franklin, we have Form Assembly and we have Salesforce, these websites that assist us when we have students apply. So whether or not a student's application gets through the system to us or not, we still get that application because Form Assembly and Salesforce are programmed in a way to help us do customer service. And that's the way that technology business management is also run, so that you're learning how to how to work with customers through the computer, but also work with them face-to-face. And if there are other, I think I spoke about 5 so far. If there are other programs, I can go over them in the next couple of slides. So this slide kind of shows the general classes that are available to students within the different programs. So for automotive technology, you have automotive engines, which a student would be working with the actual engines and different types of car engines from beginning to end of the semester. What some of their exams may look like is, what are these pieces? How do they work? How do you diagnose the issues with them? But this is a very hands-on class where students are pretty much working with an engine every day. And this is to prepare these students to go into our live garage, where students are working on cars from everyday people in Massachusetts who bring their cars here so that students can work on them and learn how to fix cars. And they work on not only domestic cars, but they also work on hybrid cars. So they're getting a wide variety of explanation and education. For biomedical engineering technology, Intro to Electrical and Mechanical Systems is an example of a class that you may take in that program. And also, as you can see at the top in blue, it says the scores for the AccuPlacer and what they would look like. So if a student places below the 100 level, they would take these choice of classes. And then if they place above the 100 level, they would take these choice of classes. And some of the classes in the above 100 level are construction management, which is building, the specific classes building construction graphics, or intro to CAD, AutoCAD. So,
over electrical engineering yet? I'm sorry, I've been admitting folks, so I'm going in and out of listening.
You said electrical engineering?
Yeah, one of the students would like to learn a little bit more about that. And we'll get to everyone else's questions at the end. I'm just trying to really connect to the specific topic that she's speaking about right now.
Yeah, so electrical engineering. So I kind of think of this as Homer Simpson. He works at a power plant, and he kind of helps with the generated electricity, no matter how it's generated, whether it's wind, electrical, solar, and making sure that energy is distributed to residential homes, companies, anything like that in a safe way, because too much electricity in a residential home or certain buildings can be too much and unsafe for humans. So those will be some of the things that you're learning in that specific class, as well as a lot of things that have to do with the practical electricity field or electrical technology field. So when it comes to robotics or programming robotics, telling them what to do and things like that, that would be in that program and in the electrical technology program. And then some of the classes for electrical technology are Circuit Theory 1. Circuit Theory 1. So the reason that there are only kind of entry-level courses is, again, we're giving these students the entry-level pathway into the programs. So we want to make sure they're having every step that they need to be successful in the program. And then on the right, you can see some average salaries and hourly wages for the specific programs. So if you're interested.
We have a few questions coming through, Shannon. Yeah. Specific to the topic that you're talking about right now, engineering technology about cars. Are we only going to learn about engines or other parts of cars? Someone wants to know a little bit more about mechanical engineering as well.
Yeah. So for automotive, automotive engines will just be one of your first classes. And another example of a class that you would have is Intro to Auto Safety and Technology. So you're learning about the safety of putting cars together and taking them apart. So again, these are just the entry level courses because we're putting you on the path to be successful in the entire program. We don't want to place you in courses that might be, again, too hard for you or too hard for you, or in the senior level of BFIT, because then you kind of have to backtrack and go back to the freshman level courses. So that's why I tried to pick the entry level courses in a variety of the programs that we offer.
Let me just also add, you know, with automotive engines, that is the class that everybody needs to learn if they want to get into automotive, because nothing works in the vehicle without the engine. So you're learning every piece of the engine. You're taking it apart. You're examining what's in there, and then you're going to be able to put it all back together. So that's the biggest piece about automotive technician. So once you've learned that and you've grasped that, then your other classes will be a lot easier. So it is an exciting course. Let me just say one thing about mechanical engineering technology. Our program we offer it as an associate degree and a bachelor's degree. The program is designed to be a machinist, to help students to become a machinist. This is an area where it's a growing industry right now, and a lot of companies are looking for machinists to be able to create, whether it's something in robotics or any of those other types of metals that they need to build. So we prepare students. It's a very hands-on program. We have our own machine shop on campus where students get to learn how to use the different machines. We have old machines and we also have brand new machines. So the old one is very manual. The students have to learn how to use those machines. The newer machines have more of touch key digital. So you have to program it. So students learn a little bit about programming in the curriculum as well. So it's a combination of both electronics, robotics, and machining all in one program.
Thank you, Marvin. And at some point, I know that you guys are going to get to talking about the available courses for the fall. There's a number of student questions coming in around health-related courses or science-focused courses. One student is interested in being a biology major. And along those lines, if you can talk about the transferability of your courses from one institution to the next.
Okay. Yeah, and I just wanted to add about the mechanical engineering program. If you guys can still see my screen share, these are some of the examples of what students have carved with the machinery Marvin was speaking about. And one of their latest projects before quarantine was to take a brick of silver and use the machinery to carve the Boston Red Sox logo into it, if you can see my mouse hovering over it. So that's some of the other materials that they are able to build in that class.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to also respond to people individually as well, so that we can move a little bit quicker through the presentation, if you don't mind.
That will be perfect.
Thank you. So for the summer sessions, students interested in the summer sessions, these are the courses available. And again, it will be sent to everyone in the chat. Well, not in the chat, in an email. But some of the classes available this summer would be automotive brakes. So if you want to get like an early head start, you could do automotive brakes and the lab section with it. And a lot of these courses do have lab components. So they might be on the same day as a lecture. So it might be a long day, maybe a 4 to 5 hour day for that one class. Or it could be a lecture on a Monday and your lab on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And then some of the general courses are reading, writing, and the math courses as well. For early college resources, we have the Academic Success Center. And this is where basically you would go to speak to your advisor or get tutoring from your professors. And there's a schedule for tutoring typically. And nowadays, since quarantine, we are basically doing everything virtually. So students are creating times to meet with their professors through Zoom or through Canvas so that they can get help with anything they need. We typically have Ben's Den on campus where students would meet in between classes, and they also have access to getting a mentor there or being a mentor for a student. And they can also go there to join a club or start a club if they have any new ideas. The Career Center is where students would go for anything and all things professionalism, whether it's resume building or interview help. Students also get a career building seminar. We also have the college store where students would go for their any BFIT swag in terms of sweatpants, t-shirts, as well as their locker ID and things like that. So we have the tuition-free program, which is a great program for anyone who is a Boston Public School student or resident. The qualifications for this program are to have at least a 2.0 GPA, and then when students do the FAFSA, to have a 0 family contribution. So it should say that you don't have to give any money to the school. And then you have to be a Boston Public School resident, graduate, or a Boston resident. And that basically gives you 3 years of free tuition. So if you're doing the ASAP program, you get your 1 year already free. And then if you do the tuition-free program, you could do your entire bachelor's for free at Benjamin Franklin. And then we have the Student Wellness Office, where students would go if they have any food insecurities or they need transportation assistance. Early college meetings and events. Okay, early college meetings and events. So mandatory meetings are monthly for ASAP, and then they also have one-on-ones, and Dual Enrollment has one-on-ones with their advisor, Lara Tavares, who is the Associate Director of Early College. We also have the peer mentoring program where a student who has already graduated from ASAP or Dual Enrollment and is still interested in still going to Benjamin Franklin mentors a student who is a current Dual Enrollment or ASAP student. The Academic Success Seminar is specifically for ASAP students, and during their first semester, if they get a C- or below during their second semester, they would be in the Academic Success Seminar with Laura to work on things like time management, procrastination, and make sure that they're gonna get the grades that they want in the following semester. And then we have a end of the year trip that students get to choose, and a celebration that they receive certificates. So deadlines. So you have to complete your application. If you are interested in taking summer classes, you need to complete your application by June 22nd. So summer session 2 is from July to August. And that's when high school students would begin in the summer session. So that's specifically for dual enrollment students. Well, for dual enrollment and ASAP students, because for ASAP, if you're going to have any remedial courses, you need to take those in the summer before the fall. So that in the fall, you're only taking courses that you're getting credit for. So again, the last day for the summer is June 22nd. If you know that you're only interested in the fall, for dual enrollment, your deadline is August 24th. AccuPlacer deadlines are for the summer, June 26th, and for fall, August 28th. I'm hosting AccuPlacer virtually every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. So you guys can use this link, which again will be sent to everyone to register for a upcoming AccuPlacer. So frequently asked questions are summer and fall courses going to be online? As of now, many of you probably know it's still kind of up in the air, but we are preparing for our courses to be online for summer session 2 and the fall semester. How do labs work with online classes? So students will watch interactive videos while their professors do the labs. And I recommend that students reinforce or expand this knowledge by watching other videos that people do, so that you're getting a different perspective of what's going on in those videos. Make sure you're asking questions to your professors. Start video chats, and it's a very useful and lucrative, valuable tool to use, especially if you know that you're going to miss a class or not be in class one day. Some tips are to keep in touch with your advisor, Laura Tavares, and your professors. Try not to do work in bed. It can be a very bad habit and it's bad for your posture. Take needed breaks, ask for help, and again, start a student group chat is a very useful tool. So this is my contact information. And again, this entire spreadsheet will, this entire slideshow will be sent to you all. So please let me know if there's any other questions.
I'm assuming that Marvin was responding to folks individually.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just in
perfect.
case you didn't get to any.
I'm still going through them, but yeah, I answered a good number.
Awesome.
Lots of questions.
From any of the practitioners on the line, are there any pressing questions that you feel would clarify this process for your students?
Yes, it is possible to take summer and fall classes for Simone.
And Shannon, can you just go over the fact that these courses are of no cost to students?
Yes, everything is paid for. So we pay for your tuition, your books, and your tools for any classes. And then we work with your schools to make sure that you have transportation. Typically, schools give students bus passes if they have the need. And if students don't get a bus pass, then we try to help them with that.
So the important message here is that although it is free of charge to you, someone is paying for these courses, right? Whether it's a funder, the state, or some other mechanism that the college has worked out. And that's why it's so important for our students to take dual enrollment opportunities very seriously, because these courses are costly, right? And we want to make sure that it's not a burden on you. And if you bring your best, we will make sure that the funds are covered.
Hi, Shannon. This is Hakeem Johnson from Excel High School.
Hello.
I'm not sure if you talked about the remote learning in the event that the students aren't able to come on campus. Is there a plan for those students to do remote learning, particularly for those major that you talked about, like the auto mechanic? Is there something about a plan for that?
So as of now, it's a lot of what's in the tips and frequently asked questions. So for the labs, students are watching the interactive videos that their professors are hosting. And to reinforce that knowledge that they're learning from their labs or their lectures that they watched from their professors, they're utilizing other videos or student group chats to make sure that they're understanding what they need. And this is what I've been hearing from my current early college students.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Please feel free to ask any additional questions. Students, definitely put your questions in the chat box, and Shannon is in the position right now to respond to them publicly.
So someone asked if Accuplacer is similar to SAT or MCAS, or if it's focused on specific majors. So the Accuplacer is pretty much general knowledge. It's a lot of what students are already learning in high schools. It has general arithmetic, problem solving as the two math sections, and then reading and writing as the English sections. And the test, it gets harder as you do better. So, and more questions come out as you do better. So it's more about what you do for the actual test and the amount of time you're giving it, because the test can take about 1 to 3 hours since it has so many 4 sections. So you want to make sure that you're giving each section a lot of time that you need, especially if you know that you have an independent education plan. And we have resources for the independent education plan as well. So we work with Sally Heckel, who is the learning differences specialist, and she assists us in making sure that students have accommodations in their classrooms, and I'm the one that assists students with any accommodations for their AccuPlacer test. So they just have to let me know ahead of time, whether it's in their registration for the AccuPlacer or in a separate email.
This is Catherine, and I'm just reading a couple of questions from the chat. So there was a question about, can the students take the AccuPlacer more than once if they don't score as high as they would like to?
They cannot. It's a very rare occasion that a student is allowed to take the test again, but it's usually not based on whether or not the student likes their scores. So.
And is there any practice material that the students and their teachers can look at?
Yeah, so the AccuPlacer website itself and College Board, they both have AccuPlacer prep.
Okay, so you can practice on your College Board AccuPlacer account. And then there was a student that, or somebody that asked, are early college sessions extra credit?
Do you mean extra credit for like high school classes?
Yeah, maybe. This is Catherine. I'll take on this question on behalf of the Boston Public Schools. So this is for the students and their advisors and their teachers and their community partners. Dual enrollment means the student gets both high school credit and college credit for the course. So depending on what course it is, that depends on what it will count for. So for example, if a student in conjunction with their school counselor decides that, okay, I want to take a math course, then what happens is that the student will fill out an application, take the AccuPlacer, and the results of that will determine which math course at Bunker Hill you're qualified for. And then you'll pick the class with Shannon and her team. That math class with your school, that means that at your school, you can count that math class as your math requirement. So that's something to talk with your school counselor about. So most of the students, they have 2 choices, because some students, hi, are you able to hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, somebody muted me, so I don't know how much we're talking about extra credit. So at your high school, if you're taking a math,
sorry, Catherine.
I'm sorry?
That I did it by mistake. I apologize.
Okay. Okay. Oh, no. So I just want to clarify. So the math course, the school, like if I'm your school counselor, I'll talk with you and we'll pick the class with Shannon, and that would count as your math requirement. Now, some students, they've already done their 4 years of math. They want to use, they have elective courses at the high school that they have to take for graduation requirement. So you can do a math course as one of your electives. And so you'll still get high school credit and college credit for it. It's just that at the school, because you already completed 4 math, we'll count that toward one of your high school elective requirements. Okay. Please keep asking your questions in the chat box, both students and advisors. You guys are coming up with some really good questions for us to answer and help explain.
So someone asked, if you do not pass the test, can you take it again? There's not really a way to not pass. Again, it's just trying to determine your math and English levels. There is a way to kind of be in, I guess, in the red, where we kind of are kind of watching your what your grade is for the AccuPlacer, and if it's below, like well below 235, then we have a conversation with you and we put you in one of the lower remedial courses. Because there are several different types of remedial math and remedial English, we have that we can put students in the correct level for them.
And one of the points we just want to make is if you do test into the remedial level, we don't want you to really be down on yourself. I think you use this as an opportunity to get ahead, so you don't have to pay for that course once you get into college, and you can get right into the credit bearing course. Okay, so it's a good thing that we're finding that out now. We're getting you through that course. We are paying for it, and then you can take the credit bearing courses once you get into college.
Shannon and Marvin, there's a question, is dual enrollment in early college only for 12th graders?
It's for 11th and 12th graders, and we are working on a program for 10th graders.
Okay, thank you. So again, this is for upcoming 11th and 12th graders. So if you're gonna be a junior in the fall, you are eligible for this.
Yeah. If you're gonna be a junior or a senior in the fall, yeah, you are definitely eligible. Yes, I will make sure to answer all the questions from the chat in the email I sent to everyone. And also just to second what Marsha was saying about not being down on yourself if you get into a remedial course. I am also a product of dual enrollment. Way back in 2010, 2011, I did dual enrollment at Bunker Hill. It was a great experience to just be able to get college credits while still in high school. And I was placed into a remedial English course because my English levels weren't at the level that the college level needed them to be. But I was able to take my remedial English course and begin taking a criminal justice course after that. And then I also took a government 101 class. So all of those credits from, except my remedial English course, I was able to transfer those credits into my college career. So it's definitely a useful tool to save money and time in the long run.
And Shannon, thank you so much for sharing that, because I think it's not only saving time, it's about going faster is one way I think about this. Like, so you're taking classes that counts for both high school and college. And so while other people are still in their freshman year of college, you would be a sophomore in college if you completed the ASAP program. And then if you're doing dual enrollment, college goes by credit. So we talked about that a little bit at the beginning. And you would, each class is worth 3 credits. And so if you complete one class, you have 3 college credits already completed while you're in high school. So that's the great one. There's a question in the chat box. It says, when will they know what courses are available for the fall?
So I will actually send those with course descriptions out by Monday.
Okay, so to everybody who's on here, there was a question about 9th graders. Right now, this program is for students who are going into grade 11 and grade 12 in the fall. So if you're currently a 10th grader, you're eligible to do the application, take the practice on your AccuPlacer account, as well as the we'll send you some of the practice websites, and then you schedule with Shannon to take the AccuPlacer with her. So if you're currently in the 10th grade or higher, you're currently eligible to apply for summer classes as well as fall and spring classes. Okay. Then there was another question about, my son is going into the 10th grade and has little English. What do we recommend? So this is Ms. Chiu as the guidance director for the district. My first recommendation is work with your current high school. So you're in the 9th grade, talk with your school counselor. There are many counselors on this call right now. Talk with them and tell them that's your goal, and then work with your English teachers, and so that your student will work to get ready to take the AccuPlacer when they're in the upcoming 10th grade. Okay. Then the next question is there ASAP courses only available in the summer? Shannon, can you take that?
ASAP is typically during the fall and spring semesters, but we recruit students during their junior year before their senior year, so that if they place into their remedial courses, they take those classes the summer before their senior year, so that once they are a senior and they're in the ASAP program, they're only taking college credit courses. And students, any students who are unsure if they want to do ASAP during the first semester of their senior year, they can always apply during their spring semester. So basically you would apply in the fall semester so that you could start taking classes during the January through May semester, if you're not sure you want to start in the fall.
Okay. There was a question, can you take the fall, the summer and the fall semester?
Yeah, you can do both. You can do courses in both semesters. And again, ASAP is the Advanced Standing Associate Program. Someone asked me to review it. And it's basically where seniors in high school are potentially earning their full freshman load of courses. And so that once they graduate from their senior year of high school, they're entering Benjamin Franklin as a sophomore. And they only need 1 year for their associate degree. And if they're getting a bachelor's, they only need 3 years for their bachelor's degree. And this program is free, as well as the dual enrollment program. Any other questions?
That's a good one. Someone's taking the class already.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Can you explain that to the students?
Yeah, so a current student does not have to retake the AccuPlacer, even if they're going to go to Benjamin Franklin as a regular student. Once you've taken the AccuPlacer, as long as you haven't taken like 2-3 years off before you come to Benjamin Franklin, your score should be eligible for us.
There was a question earlier about sports. So do you have any students who are still playing sports at their high school team and part of the program?
Yeah, I actually have a New Mission High School student who is still in his high school soccer team, and he pretty much enjoys it. He is an electrical engineering student, and that is one of our most difficult programs. So kudos to him for doing that and still continuing his extracurricular activity at school.
That's great.
But it is definitely possible to do. And we do offer men's basketball at the college level once students have graduated from high school. We are Division III. So now, since you guys have had the information session, I still have the deadlines sheet shared with you. So you can see the application website and the registration site for the AccuPlacer. So those would be the next 2 steps. First, to apply, send me the student transcript, and then register for the AccuPlacer. And once we have all of those things and we have spoken to your counselors and made certain decisions, then we will start to build your schedule altogether.
There's a couple other good questions on here. One is if a student took the AccuPlacer for a different dual enrollment program, is it possible for you to look at those scores for Benjamin Franklin so that they don't have to retake the test?
Yeah, we do not take scores from other schools.
Okay, so they have to take the test with you.
Yes.
Okay, so that answers that question.
But if the student has taken a class at the other place and they have credits for that, we'll accept those credits. So it's if the student took the course, we could just take that as their transfer credit. So yeah, so you know, that could work too.
Okay, but I think the specific question was like if a student happened to have taken the acupuncture thinking they were going to do a different dual enrollment program, but they decided they like BFIT better and they didn't have any college credits and they're still in high school, but they have acupuncture scores.
Yeah, so we wouldn't be able to take the acupuncture scores, but like Marvin said, if they took the actual class, then we can take the class credits.
Okay. And then Marvin, maybe you could answer this question. There's somebody who's a senior and they're probably graduating. They're expecting to graduate this June. Can they still apply to Benjamin Franklin? What steps should that student take?
Yes, they could still apply to Benjamin Franklin. It's online. They could contact Shannon and she could direct them to the college's application website. So yeah, it's if they're interested in coming to enroll at Benjamin Franklin for the fall, it's not too late. They can apply today.
Great. Shannon, and could you tell us about some of the students who are enrolled this current spring? Like what high schools do they go to and what time are their classes currently?
Yeah, so it's a large variety of class times and days, but some of the example programs in high schools that they come from are New Mission High School. We have some students from the Margarita Muniz High School. We also have students from Boston Latin School, Greater Eggleston, and some of the programs that they're in is for ASAP. They're all over the board with construction management, kind of where they're learning about being in charge of the whole construction site and hiring any electricians or anyone else that needs to be there to build the entire infrastructure. And they also, students are also in electrical engineering, as I said before, in the opticianry program. Opticianry, I don't think I mentioned too much about. That's actually one of my favorite programs because we're the only school in Massachusetts to offer this program. And basically you are the pharmacist. So the eye doctor sends you the prescription for the patient and you fill that prescription by designing the glasses frame and the contact lens. And the cool thing about it is that it doesn't only have to be for prescription, it can be for fashion as well. There are a lot of celebrities that wear non-prescription glasses and those glasses cost a large amount of money, as well as sunglasses too. It's only a 2-year program. Again, there's really no competition for the job because we're the only school in Massachusetts that offers this program. So it's about 13 other students in your class competing with you for hundreds of jobs. And it's a really great program because we have veterans in the program who've been in the opticianry field for a long amount of years, over 20, 30 years. And they make sure that students are meeting with practitioners as well as anyone in the actual field to make sure that students, 99% of those students are offered a job at the end of their first year. And 99% of our students get a job at the end of their second year as well. Average salary is about $75,000 a year. So it's a really great program to take advantage of if the ASAP program is what you're interested in.
Can you also tell people where your school is located and what's the closest MBTA station as they're thinking about where their schools are located and can they get there from their current high school?
Yeah, and yeah, I definitely want to shout out Cash. We also have them participating in dual enrollment and ASAP. But we are located on the Orange Line. We are at 41 Berkeley Street, South End, Massachusetts. So the best way I would say is either the Green Line or the Orange Line. Green Line if you're coming from towards downtown area, and Orange Line if you're coming from anywhere along the lines of Forest Hills or Oak Grove.
So I think we're right at 3 o'clock. These were some great sessions, questions that our students and our practitioners had. Shannon, I know that you have everyone's information from the registration process, that you will get these slides as well as a link to the recording. And then if folks have additional questions, you will also put that information in the email communication so they can ask them directly to you or a member of your team. But students should also work very closely with their counselors and their dual enrollment liaisons at their schools to begin or continue the application process and to meet these deadlines. We don't want you to get locked out of these opportunities. At some point, things will begin to return to normal, and we want you to be able to take full advantage of dual enrollment and other early college opportunities that are free to BPS students. So with that, I thank you, Shannon, Marvin, Calvin, and the entire BFIT team for providing this service and this resource to our students and our families.